That's only half if they like you. They ain't even the half what they might do. Don't believe me, ask Michael. See Martin, see Malcolm. You see Biggie, see Pac, see success in his outcome.
I'd rather make a buck, drive a fat ass truck, grab the 9, 2 clips and run amok. Yes, flex after 2 or 3 Bexes, I wreck shit. What the fuck? I'd rather.
In episode 3 of the bar exam, we take it back to Brooklyn, New York to take a look at one of the dopest tracks on Reasonable Doubt, Brooklyn's Finest, with 2 of Brooklyn's finest MCs, Jay-Z and the Notorious B.I.G. The borough of Brooklyn is one of the most important boroughs in New York from a hip-hop standpoint. And also from a global standpoint, we've seen MCs come out of Brooklyn dating back from the 80s to the 90s and even leading into the 2000s. We're going to show you 2 MCs that really held not only Brooklyn down, but hip hop as a whole. In the summer of 1996, Jay-Z would drop his landmark debut album, Reasonable Doubt. And one track on that album featured Jay-Z and the Notorious B.I.G. called Brooklyn's Finest. And at this time in 1996, Jay-Z is still a brand new artist to the hip-hop universe. But on the flip side, Biggie is one of the top MCs in all of hip-hop, coming off of Ready to Die, a ton of huge remixes, and even the Junior Mafia era. The biggest takeaway and the dopest thing about Biggie and Jay-Z's relationship was that they was not only cool, but they always loved to collaborate with each other, because if you know anything about hip hop, it's extremely competitive, and these 2 always found a way to get into the studio and continue to build on that musical relationship. We would see 2 other songs that they would collaborate on, which is Young G's and I Love the Dough. Even after Biggie passed, there were still albums coming out, but Jay-Z always felt like this wasn't a good time for him to be on any of these albums because it wasn't natural. Normally when Biggie and Jay-Z collab, they always were in the studio together to get that perfect synergy.
Well, I wanted to ask you too, before I forget, is we're also doing a special on the Biggie album, Born Again. I didn't know if you participated on that or not. Now, your name had been thrown around in the beginning that you were going to. Was that something you sort of decided you didn't want to be a part of, or was it just sort of a scheduling thing?
Yeah, that's, I mean, that was to be expected. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even expect to pick up a Biggie album and not see, me on there. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, that name was thrown around. But with me, it was more so like, when like the recording, like we recorded, like the songs that we done together, we recorded together, like we was in the same room, and we like people that don't pick up pens and write. It was something that I just wanted to hold that memory of. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to hold it. I'm being sentimental right now, but you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to hold that memory.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It does seem a little contrived to put a vocal that already exists with somebody and do it. I know. Just. I mean,
it's done.
The concept is
the concept is hot, and it's done every day. Like even right now, like with people that's still here. God bless Big. With people that's still here, they do that. They send tracks out all the time. And then they just put them together. So I'm not taking anything away from the project. It's just that the way we did it. No pens, nothing. Just sat there and just vibed off each other. I wanted to hold on to that.
Okay, well that's basically all we wanted to ask you.
Peace. Send money.
The one dope thing about Brooklyn's Finest is that we got to see 2 heavyweights go back and forth. Usually with songs, you'll get one verse from one artist and maybe 2 from the other artist, depending on what album they're recording for, but this one was actually round for round, both MCs giving it the best they had. The one dope thing about this song is, though, even though Jay-Z at this point in his career, this is his debut album, he sounded extremely polished, and it didn't sound like Biggie just took over the track. One key thing about this song is each MC didn't have a ton of bars for each round. So in order for one of these MCs to really take over that round, they would have to find a way to not only build up to their punchline, but then execute it before their time was up. The biggest punchline out of round one that really sealed the deal for round one was when Biggie ended his line, "Sprinkle coke on the floor, make it drug related." That really took the round over the top, and it really showed how Biggie can kind of slip in his last little point to really execute his rhymes. So we definitely want to give that round to Biggie. Now, round two for Jay-Z was similar to round one for Biggie, because at the end of his lyrics, he said, "Left the paramedics breathing soft on him." And then when he dropped in that "What's your name?", that little subtle detail really took his lyrics, even though it's not a lot, over the top and easily could win a round. Round two, Biggie came in a little bit heavier than round one. So the first thing we see is "Who Shot Ya?" Mob Ties Like Sinatra. So we do see a shot at Pac, but it wasn't a huge deal because at this time Pac is alive, so it's all fair game. And then we get to see how Biggie brings in a 700 Benz that no one's even thought of yet. And then he goes in to talk about his jewelry that's frostbit, and then caps that rhyme with Igloo. So this was a huge round for Biggie, and it's just took the song to the next level. Round three felt like it was bridging rounds 1 and 2 together, but also leading into the hook of the song. One thing that Jay-Z did dope on round three was the JV to varsity line. And then Biggie really stood out with the flows malicious, delicious, fuck 3 wishes, made my road to riches. So I think that was a really dope scheme that Biggie did in round number 3. This one, it could be a toss-up on this round, but if you want to say that Biggie flowed better, then I'm not mad. But Jay-Z also had a dope round as well. So what's dope about Jay-Z's bars on round 4 is the play on pistols, the hotness, like the blazing, the hot like Cajun, hotter than holding work at the day's end with New York plates outside. So he's basically saying like this is hotter than being out of town with work at a motel with some out-of-state plates. So I think that was a dope narrative on how he played that. And then Biggie, if you remember the Keep Your Hands High, the Tracy Lee song, he's basically reminding you of that. And then also Keep Your Hands High as he's robbing this, whoever's holding work. So I think both MCs delivered. Biggie just had so many rhymes on this round, so it's kind of hard to not give it to him, but dope verses nonetheless. Round 5 was crazy. Now, one thing I liked about what Jay-Z did in round 5 was the short sleeves, bare arms. I think that was a dope punch, and I like the way he ended it, because if you remember the paramedics bars he did from a few rounds earlier, Declare, Gone, I think that really bridged together those lines from a previous round, so I think that was dope. But what Biggie did with the Tupac and the Faith shots was crazy, because I think Biggie really wanted to get ahead of the rumors of Tupac and Faith. So he just threw it in this song just so everybody can say, hey, so he can kind of get ahead of what may happen down the road. And I like the double entendre with the twins, the Tupacs, and it being Tupacs. I mean, this was brilliant. And then Biggie would definitely go on and say that this was a shot at Pac just because of how he felt during the situation. So, like I said, this round was crazy.
Too personal on people's personal lives and stuff, but I just wanted to ask you this. I want to make an exception, I guess, today, because a lot of people, and even myself, like Jay-Z's record, The Brooklyn's Finest, that record was the bomb. You said a line on there. You said something about Coolio's too hot or whatever. If Faith has twins, she probably have Tupac's. And you said get it to Pacs. Was that a diss towards Tupac? Was it a diss towards Faith, or was it even a diss at all?
It was a diss, but I was just upset at the time. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I'm just that type of person. You know what I'm saying? I just did that. You know?
So just one of those things that at that moment, that's how you felt, and just put it down like that.
It was kind of funny to me. Everybody laughed when I did it, but, you know, I don't care. I'm my own person, you know.
I want to thank you, though, Biggie and Puffy also, man, for you know, putting it down on Westside Radio today with us.
No problem, man. Thanks a lot, Joe, for having us up here. And we will be back.
Too personal on people's personal lives.
So just kind of tying this back all together, not being messy. This is just what, you know, what happened as far as if you look at the video. So if you look at the Warning video, Biggie got like, you know, 2-3 girls in the bed with them, right? This is kind of like before Faith. And then we get to the One More Chance remix video, and then Faith looks like it's his main love interest at the time, which is, you know, they're together. And then you fast forward to the Junior Mafia video, you got Biggie with Charlie Baltimore, who looked like she's wearing either a Faith wig or just looking just like Faith, and she's the main love interest in the song. So you kind of see where the shots at Faith come, you see where the shots at Pac come, you kind of see what may have happened to kind of allude to the rumors between Pac and Faith, all just with the showing of you know, these videos. Round 6, the final round. Now, I would definitely say this is when Jay-Z took it to, you know, the next level with the separate the pros from the cons, the platinum from the bronze, rapping about platinum before, you know, it's even a thing in hip hop. That Buttersoft shit from the leather on the fawn. So he's talking about, I'm rocking like plush leather jackets, not the jacket that the Fonz wore. And then just, I think this was definitely his best round. And I think what Biggie did is he kind of, you could tell like this was the final round the way Biggie finished his. I would definitely give this round to Jay-Z. But overall, just with the production by Clark Kent, the Ode to Brooklyn, and then two MCs that really just showed that Brooklyn is going to be a thing in hip hop, and then something that you kind of wish continued to happen, because we all know like we were supposed to get the commission, and then just so many things that Biggie and Jay-Z were going to collab on. But overall, I mean, this is just one song on one of the best albums hip hop's ever heard, The Reasonable Doubt. And this is just just something that you can timestamp and just show how dope hip hop was in the 90s, and how two MCs can come together and just deliver on the highest level.